Here's the big question. How is it that most entrepreneurs hustle and are always busy and struggle to take just one step forward only to fall two steps back? They're dedicated, determined, and driven, but only a few finally break through and win. This show uncovers those quantum leap patterns of highly successful people so you can simply model what they do and apply to your future success. That's the question, and the answers are right here. My name is Brigitte Höfele, and this is the Success Patterns Show. And that is right. You are here at the right time, at the right place. And I am super honored and excited to be here with you, CEO of the Center of NLP, Brigitte Höfele. And today you are in for a treat, as I always say that, but you really are. I mean, I honestly, and I don't say that from ego, I just say that with a lot of pride. I have some of the greatest guests on the Success Pattern Show. Today, I have a gentleman, and I've been on his show, and that's how I know him, because when he comes on, honestly, it's time to shine, and you're going to hear why it's time to shine. He is a go-giver. He is coming from a mindset, visionary, breakthrough kind of personality type and specializes in exactly that. He loves to serve. He's a servant leader. You're going to hear more of him. He will level not just himself up, but you, just by being there, you will be leveled up by osmosis. He is Scott Ferguson and the host of the Time to Shine Today podcast. And that's, like I said, how I know him. His mission is to not have anyone feel like they have no one. And I think we all need that kind of person. Scott's story was highly sought after by people in the entertainment business, which he has not ready to share until now. At the Time to Shine Today show, Scott shares knowledge nuggets to help individuals and teams to level up, both in business and in personal life. Because if you know a little bit about what I teach, personal problems are business problems, and business problems are personal problems. And when I bring Scott on, I want to share this with you. Scott is a servant leader of our country. He is a veteran of the United States Navy with multiple, not one, but multiple deployments to Iraq, Afghanistan, Somalia, and others in the early and mid 1990s. He's an active podcaster, a real estate junkie / real estate investor. He loves to give. He lives intentional. He loves the beach, Jiu Jitsu, fitness, yoga, and he's an incredible volunteer. Ladies and gentlemen, with a big applause, help you become.
Oh my gosh, I'm blushing. That was fantastic. Wow.
Welcome, Scott.
Thanks, Brigitte. I appreciate it. And being on the Success Pattern Show is fantastic. And what you do for people to help them level up is just off the charts. So again, thank you. I'm very blessed.
Look, first and foremost, thank you for your service to our country.
I appreciate that.
Thank you for giving.
Appreciate that. More people need to hear, especially in this day and time. It's a little bit crazy out there, and the service members on the front lines, whether we're wherever we're going to be or not, they're on standby and ready to go. So we need to remember them all the time. Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you for your service, and thank you for being here. You know, success patterns, we all have them. A lot of us are not really aware that these patterns are driving us. And when we are aware, like you say, you're living very intentional, then we can actually use them and use them intentionally to drive us.
Correct.
When you look at your life, you know, rituals, habits, those are all patterns. When you look back at your life, which rituals, which habits have you adapted or learned that you can confidently say led to your success?
I would say the biggest pattern is the attitude of gratitude that I was taught, and I designed what's called a gratitude sandwich for every morning that I do. And it's set up where, you know, I get up and I have 90 minutes of me time, period. It's like, it's my time, nobody else. Well, my pit bull Stitch, you know, it's our time for our walk too, or paddle board or whatnot. But my gratitude sandwich really consists of, you know, the first line is, you know, what I am intentional about today, what I plan to do. The second line is what I'm worried about. Okay. And my worries and concerns. And then after that, I list 14 things that I'm just absolutely grateful for. Now I always start with God. I'm a Christian, that, and then would be my lady Susan. And then after that, I have, 12 people that I am grateful for. And then the final line, I always write a love letter to myself, telling myself I love you, that, fantastic, and really set that intention. So the sandwich happens with, you have your intentions, what you're grateful for at the bottom, in the middle, those worries get squeezed out in the sandwich. So that's something that I really implemented about 8 years ago. And I live with it's kind of cliche, but an attitude of gratitude. And that vibe helps me attract the tribe that I'm going to go out and either help level up or get leveled up by. I'm always picking up a step from somebody.
There we go. I love what you just said, and I hope that everyone made notes on that sandwich, that gratitude sandwich, right? It makes so much sense to just kind of squeeze that out, but you first gotta come into that realization that that's what you need in your life,
right.
and then implement it. And I had so many conversations today with some of my clients, and a lot of them have in common that they have children that are in the Gen Z generation. And I wish that what you just said would be offered as a very simple ritual or practice in our high schools.
That is so funny that you say that, because when I leave you here today, I'm going to an after-school program. Before I'm wheels up, I got to go to Texas. But before there, I hit the high school, and there's 15 kids that we set up a financial education kind of services for kids to learn. And I always start with with grateful. So I do it pro bono because I love it, because those Zers, it's like those are the people that are going to be running the country as I age. Because I just hit the half century mark, 50 years old. So I'm really concerned about the future and trying to set as many people up with as many rituals as I can and mentor as many people as I can. I was told when I was younger that the more people you mentor, the more immortal you become. So I just be able to pass on the knowledge that I'm regurgitating from my mentors and in my readings and people like you, to be able to pass on to them is something I'm very, very, very passionate about. It serves not only, I do it for a selfish reason, because I want that generation to start taking care of business. But at the same time, I know I'm leveling people up, and that makes all the love in the world to me.
You just said that you hit that half century, and we're right up there. And I would say we are from the best era ever.
Yes.
And being children of the 80s, let's be honest. There was this whole angsty, dark phase that we went through.
Sure.
And I feel like our kids are going through that again, but heightened. And maybe they go through, all 16, 17-year-olds go through that in some sort. But imagine if you would kind of wrap that ritual that you described and put it in a time capsule. Let's imagine in the future, or even better, let's remember the future. And you and I time travel, 50 years from now. And now we see this ritual really being practiced and implemented in all of our high schools. How has it made a difference in our world as we're remembering 50 years into the future?
Such a fantastic question, because my goal every day is to plant trees that I'll never sit in the shade of. So you nailed it. So what I'm really just trying to put out there is something that can pay it forward. And I'll only be able to do that with as many people that I can mentor or coach. The world to me I don't want a perfect world. I want there to be a competition, but not within to where it's cutthroat, but competition's healthy. I want there to be competition, but the people to also collaborate, the people to be able to sit and talk and have conversations without getting heated, to people really want to take care of their temple, their body at all times of their life. You and I have did that, and we look, and I'm not trying to sound braggadocious, but we look great, we feel great, we're doing great things for being a half century years old. So it's like that world is going to be a fun place to wake up in, to know that people are out there getting after it and building not so much on competition, but on collaboration, and just having a really good feel and overall gel to life while still getting out there and getting after it.
I love the gel. Yes. And I'm all for that. I want to create that. I want to implement that. And it takes incredible leaders like you and myself and other people that are forward thinking like that to really collaborate, lock arms, and literally just go out and let's do it.
Yes.
Right? It starts with one.
It does. It does.
It starts with one.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you can build the momentum, and you will agree with me, I know, because we read the same stuff. But people say I'll believe it when I see it. You and I see it when we believe it. And if we can do that, we can put the steps in motion. I like to say inch by inch, it's a cinch, right? By the yard, it's hard. Take the baby steps and put it in motion to get the outcome that you want. And that's what I do with my clients. That's what I interview people like yourself. And when you came on for episode 260 of the Time to Shine Today show, that you're doing that. You're planting those trees where people are going to sit in the shade and you won't even know. But the tree with the most fruit bends to the ground, right? So it's like you got to reach down and pull those people up that need to come with you too.
Yeah, I love that. And I wonder, trees, rituals for our kids, the ongoing support that we might never reap the benefits of, but that's not why we're doing it. We're not here to reap the benefits.
No.
Right?
You know what? We live in a free country, and I love the United States. Okay, I love everybody. I love the world, but I feel that I live in the best country out there. Okay, period. But we're reaping the benefits of stuff that happened in 1945 to keep us a free country. Okay, so there's things that have you thought about Betty White today at all?
No, but actually yesterday I did a little meme. I did a little meme with her.
What she did, that's why I said it to you, because you put it there yesterday. But it's like it's like Betty White did so much for animals, for everybody else, but everybody's kind of forgotten in a sense, unless it's brought to your attention. And I'm okay with that. But as long as I planted it along the way to be able to people take what I've taught and I've been taught, that just makes all the difference in the world to me, period. I don't need credit. I just need to know that what I'm doing is making a difference. And again, even if it's inch by inch, that's all I care about.
Now you've, for within the service of our country and the deployments that you have experienced, how do you stay so level and so balanced and so kind of, and I don't think I can even say I can imagine, because I don't think my brain can go there what you might have seen and experienced. Absolutely. What practices do you do to level yourself, to balance yourself like that?
It takes, I have to take it back to 1972, the year I was born. I was born in the Philippine Islands. My mother got pregnant with me by a U.S. service member. He bailed, and she went to give birth to me. At the time, the Philippine Islands were actually taking bastard males away from the mother. Okay, because I'm 6'1", I'm 260, I'm pretty well put together. If you get an average American man, we're still bigger than a lot of the Filipino men. So they were taking bastard males and shipping them to Spain, because Spain controls the Philippine Islands. Well, my mother gave birth to me, and I was taken by an Air Force couple, and that was in the United States Air Force. He was getting discharged, and they took me back to the United States on a temporary visa. Well, the lady that was going to adopt me, her father dies. She goes schizophrenic. They can't raise me. So I spent a little bit of time at an orphanage. Okay. Now, the orphanage, I got adopted by who I call my mother and father now, my adoptive parents. But they were all kind of Vietnam War time, a little heavy drinking. So I ended up being raised by a really strict Marine uncle. And from there, I was like, there's no way ever I'm going to do anything with authority figures heading over my head. So to get to the United States Navy, it was called bad grades and losing out on sports scholarships or any chance I had at one. So I had to go in to do something, because my dad's like, you're not going to live here for free. So when I went in the Navy, I did what I had to do and did what I loved to do for my country. But at the same time, I became a band of brothers. I know it's a movie, but a band of guys that I'm still friends with to this day. That's the first time in my life I felt a part of something real. No matter how many sports I played when I was younger, family members, whatever, the military is where I felt the most leveled up. Okay. And then leveling up kind of comes from, it's a joke because a lot of guys would play, you're the product of the 80s. We played Nintendo and Sega, and they would play it and they'd be like, come on, Fergie, let's level up. I'm like, you guys losers, level up. I'm going to the gym. I'm going to go rucksack, do a ruck run or do something. But then it became like, wait a minute, man. Now before I do a jiu-jitsu match or a wrestling match or a any kind of lift in the gym, a workout, I'm like, let's level up. It's just because it's a mindset of getting higher. And so that's where it really came from, is the military instilled in me that there is such thing as a brotherhood. There is such thing as a community, and it never ends no matter what. There's probably 4 or 5 guys I know I could call and they would be there for me right now and vice versa. So that's kind of where it comes from. And the kicker to the whole thing is that when my mom gave me up for birth, which she did me a huge favor, she kept my twin sister. So I have a twin sister that lives in Jersey. And so it's funny. She's in real estate. Jovi's her name. So it's kind of cool. But yeah, it's I have that kind of crazy life. There's stuff I left out. There's really darker moments. But it was I'm so blessed, and I'm glad the journey that I had, because that's where the leveling up really started.
Yeah, someone asked me as I was writing an article for a magazine in London, and they asked me, what kind of advice would you give your younger self? And let me just pass on the question to you. What kind of advice, with the resources that you have right now, would you give your younger self?
Get your asking gear. Anytime you want to know something, there are people out there that know it. And a lot of times when you're young, you act like you know everything, like I did. I was the king of douchebaggery. Like I knew everything, right? So it was like I would tell myself, listen, God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth, so shut up and listen. And then when you don't know something, don't be embarrassed about not knowing it, and get your asking gear and find people. Even though we didn't have the internet, there was still ways and resources to actually find the people to get in touch with and connect with and level up. I was doing that before the internet. I reached out to people like Tony Robbins, Robert Kiyosaki, all these people that actually got back to me, because of my persistence. And that's why I think that, to be consistent, you have to be persistent at all times, every day.
And if you don't ask, the answer is always no. So
Exactly.
Get your asking gear. I love that.
Yeah.
And for the ones that follow me on, they're either a client or they follow me on some of these success pattern shows. You will hear me say we create win-win-wins, right? Yes. There are many people out there that are only in it for one win, and that's just ego. And I think we've all, I can only speak for myself, but I know a lot of people, we've been there, right? We've been there, but we have overcame it, and we realize that we want to have a win-win, but ultimately, we want to have a win-win-win, a win for you, a win for me, and a win for the greater good, right? Yes. Plant that tree, be of service to whoever needs that service, right. Give value because you can, because we have that value to give to others in form of knowledge and information. Right. So what do you constantly do to create those win-win-win scenarios?
I wake up every day. I make 2 New Year's resolutions every year since 2009, when I had lost everything, by the way, in 2009, and I had to eat some solid humble pie. But I make 2 New Year's resolutions. One, make someone smile every single day, no matter what. Compliment them, make them smile, whatever. And then secondly, unless I've hurt you, disrespected you, anything, I give 0 of what you think about me. So I just really I don't take life too seriously, because I'm not making it out alive. Like I am just get busy living and help as many people as you can. I don't know if I specifically answered your question, but that's kind of the system that I use pretty much every day to get a good feel and a start to my day, is by making someone smile and making their day better, period. And it's not fake. I say love your guts
Mm,
all the time, right? And I probably said it to you 10 or 12 times since I've known you. It's not a love like, oh, I'm in love with you. It's like, no, dude, I love you.
yeah,
I tell it to myself in the mirror. I make my clients, they know what they're getting into when I coach them. Is you will tell yourself you love yourself a lot. And then when you can do that, in the old cliche, you can't love somebody else and love unless you love yourself. Your
that's
subconscious
right.
mind is going to start doing things to make you level up in through the love that you have for yourself. Period. It's just it's proven. I'm a product of it. I didn't realize how much I hated myself until I got to that point.
Mm. Yeah, here we are again, right? With that, I think we all have our demons in some
Mm-hmm.
way, or we all have those dark um, areas in our lives. Maybe
Sure.
we may have overcome them, or
Mm-hmm.
we may still sometimes go through them.
Right.
It's that staying leveled and staying balanced and staying in gratitude, as you
Sure.
said earlier,
Mm-hmm.
and getting into that habit, because that's another success pattern that I heard from you. Getting into that habit of telling yourself
Mm,
that I love you,
absolutely.
and that it's not just superficial of, okay, I'm
No,
just going to
man.
say I love you just so
No.
I fill the space and
Right.
because my coach told me to do that, right?
Right. Right. Right.
But to truly say it and believe it
Yeah.
and own it and
Sure.
and give it to others.
Right.
And for our listeners and followers, I have gotten, and I don't know Scott a long time. I feel like I've known you like for decades, right?
Right.
Uh, Him and I go way back to the 80s, and we probably, could dance for a
Oh
long
yeah.
time to great
Absolutely.
music.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely
um,
great music. Right.
but we've only known each other for a little while, and the
Mm-hmm.
messages that I get from you and the cards that I receive in the mail from you
And
just
you too, honey.
absolutely brighten my day,
Yay.
right? And
Awesome.
it's those little things. It doesn't have to
Yeah.
be something big. It's those little things
Right.
that
Right.
really make a difference.
It is.
So
It's everything. It's harmony, right? A lot of people want balance, and I don't want balance because balance is just zero, right? Where harmony, I liken it to a jazz band where, you have your guitar might be your finances, your horns might be your relationships, your drums might be your job or whatnot. And if one of those is out of tune, then you don't have harmony. So you have to work on each pillar of every aspect of your life. It doesn't have to be perfect, but no guitar player is perfect, no drummer is perfect, but you can play it to the best of your ability, that pillar, then you have harmony. And that's what I really strive for, is harmony. And that's what my clients that I work with will strive for, is harmony. Absolutely.
yeah, I like the analogy with the orchestra or with the
Yeah.
jazz band,
Yeah.
and when you do a jazz session, there
Mm-hmm.
is not a plan. Well, there's somewhat of a plan,
Mm-hmm.
but everyone gets to chime in. Everyone gets to do what they're good at. Everyone
Right.
gets to put their soul into it,
Right. Right.
and
Absolutely.
you'll get a kick out of this, Scott. Being
Uh-huh.
a German and coming from Germany,
Mm-hmm.
we like to plan things, right? We
Okay.
are known to have
Right.
things figured out and planned.
Right.
And it was one reason, there were many reasons, as I shared with you before,
Mm-hmm.
why we moved to the States. But that's
I,
one reason of when I looked at other Germans, that I'm just not part of that. I
mm-hmm.
love to feel, right? So
Mm,
in your practice with your clients, what other practices or what other exercises do you have where they, like you said, tell yourself in the mirror
mm-hmm.
that you love yourself?
Right.
Or
Well, affirmations are great, but they're always going to have a seed of doubt in them, no matter what. Because if you look at yourself, man, I am sexy, sculpted, and ready to go every day. I am a great lover. I am this. You can say that, but you're always going to have a seed of doubt. So I was taught something that resonated about 8 years ago that really leveled up my life, is to ask yourself very powerful questions. You can take the exact same, like, I have a sculpted, very well put together, sexy body, but instead of saying that, just ask yourself, why is it that I have a sexy, sculpted, rocking body? Why is it that when I walk into a room, I light it up with my smile? Why is Because our brains are processed to solve problems, or they're made to solve problems and to get answers to things. So if you start asking powerful questions of yourself, or like Vishen from Mind Valley say lofty questions, it will turn you around. It's not like, because if you're saying stuff to yourself, you have this with affirmations, almost deep down you're lying, and you can't get it to the subconscious fast enough for your subconscious to catch up. But if you ask yourself questions and then just let it go, because Brigitte, everything's a question. If you're driving down the street and you're making a left, your brain's firing to your finger, do I turn on my blinker? If you're a good driver, hopefully it says yes, right? Okay, are we going to make a left? Okay, great. Those are all easy questions. You're on autopilot. I get my clients out of autopilot and make them ask themselves powerful questions that their subconscious will begin to start to answer. Then I move them into affirmations to where then they're already believing it and move forward. So that's my process of really getting started with clients. And it all goes through powerful questions that I ask them.
And the powerful questions are related to one of the success laws. Well, there are many success laws, but one of them is the law of requisite variety that states the person with the most flexibility controls the system, right? So now the extension of this is the person with the best quality question controls the conversation. So I love that you say that, asking yourself, rather than telling yourself these affirmations, asking yourself those quality questions. Ooh, that's powerful.
It's huge. Yeah.
As a coach, that's what you do. As an influencer, that's what you do. You ask other people questions. And one of my favorite comebacks to these questions is, that's a really good question. That's when you hit deep. Right.
And that's where usually with the first discovery session, I want you to bring me 5 affirmations that you want to see yourself at, but put them in the form of a question. And that's what I ask them to do. That's where I start. And then from there, we know where we're going to dig from.
There's so many incredible nuggets. I sure hope you guys wrote them all down, because I know I'm going to go back and search through the transcription, because there was some really good nuggets in here, Scott. So Scott, how do people get in touch with you?
The best place, we're really podcast driven with Time to Shine Today. So right now, I would say timetoshinetoday.com/podcast, or just go to timetoshinetoday.com and you can click on the podcast. We're interviewing people like you, Brigitte, and other awesome coaches and counselors, because Time to Shine Today will be the Angie's list of coaches, counselors, therapists, speakers within 60 months, the next 5 years. We're putting it together to where people are going to come into the Time to Shine Today family. And a coach might not be the right horse for the course, but we will have a stable, for lack of a better term, of coaches where we will be able to help anybody level up where they are. Again, we don't want to have anyone to feel like they have no one. So if you're suicidal thoughts, I have counselors that are at the ready. If you're looking to learn how to start an LLC, I have coaches, business coaches that are ready. If you're a 7-figure earner and you're looking for that mindset visionary breakthrough for the next idea, I have coaches ready. So that's where we are doing at Time to Shine Today. We're building a family, a tribe of people like yourself, which you're included. And squad, go to episode 260 with my good friend Brigitte, where she'll tell you, there's never any failure, only feedback. Limitations mean room to grow. Believe in yourself, be tenacious. These are all things that I really leveled up with as well. So that's where you can find me.
Awesome. So down here, follow Scott here, timetoshinetoday.com. It's very easy. Get in touch with him. And while you were talking, I want to get you in touch with my good friend Aaron as well. Okay. So it constantly evolves. It constantly adds. We're in ever so evolving collaborations and introducing each other to incredible people, because that's what we are. That's who we are. That's what we do. So Scott, thank you for being here. Thank you for taking the time. Like you say, I love your guts, and you're incredible. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thanks so much, B. I really appreciate it.
And for everyone else, stay tuned. Next week, same time, same place, Success Pattern Show. Thank you for tuning in to the Success Pattern Show at www.thesuccesspatternshow.com. My name is Brigitte Höfele.